Hey, it's Rolf Johnson filling in for my sister Annika Johnson, and welcome to another episode of Door County Girl. On this episode, we're going to take a look at behind the scenes of the Stabbur.
Hi, I'm Annika Johnson from Al Johnson's in Sister Bay. I hope you enjoy my new video series called Door County Girl. These are stories of my life, the people and places that I love, and of course how we all survive here in northern Wisconsin. You can come back as often as you like, but don't forget to subscribe to Al's YouTube channel. I'll be posting lots of really cool new videos. So let's go.
Hey everybody, it's Rolf Johnson again, filling in for my sister in Door County Girl. And she's out of town still, and I'm still doing all the heavy work. But I hope she's having a great time, because whatever she's doing, she deserves it. She is really been hard at work at Al Johnson's, doing all the back orders and stuff like that, all the mail orders, filling in the dining when need be. So enjoy. Her and a good friend Casey are out glamping. So anyway, here we are. We are at the Stabbur, Al Johnson's beer garden. And we're gonna take a little look at what goes on around here and the landscaping that took place here. You're gonna see some real grass up front here, and you're gonna see some beautiful boxwoods. And I love these boxwoods. These were done by creations by Jason Orsted. And what was great about these, if you wanna plant something like these in your yard, your woods, if you live in the middle of nowhere, deer hate them. Deer can't stand them. So if you're looking for something deer-proof, I took some extras and put them home. They've been going strong for 4 years, and not a single animal has touched them. And they're very tolerable to Door County's harsh weather in winter. So what I got here is a couple postage stamp areas of grass, starting out at the Skål over there, and those are cut, of course, with a lawnmower. Up on the roof of the Stabbur, which is of Skål, which is our newest addition, a beautiful gift shop with a lot of Scandinavian wares inside. And it's got a crazy roof line if you kind of check it out. And it's got some great carvings, all done by a Norwegian fellow out of the Dakotas. And I have not personally cut that roof, but Jason gets up there on occasion and helps the grass and keeps it short. That's a tricky one. You need a set of good golf shoes or cleats of some type, and you got to be on your best A game. But what we like on this one here, we do want it to grow a little bit wild. The goats don't go on this roof. People ask me all the time, and I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to show you why as we walk up to the grounds of the Stabbur. But before I go there, I'm going to talk a little bit about our AstroTurf here. So I said that's the real grass out front. This is done by a company out of Illinois called Green Tours. I believe that's the name. I might have it wrong, but it's called Green Tours, I think. And they specialize in golf courses, even backyard golf courses, par 3s to 9 holes to 18 holes. And what happened with this was he was actually staying, Mr. Wold was staying up here with my sister's rental, and said, you know, this would be a great place for an artificial turf to go down. And he showed me the environmental impact, which is much less than actual real sod. I had brought in real sod 2 or 3 times here. It takes a lot of fertilizer, takes a lot of watering, and if you don't get the right weather, or if you get a little bit too much rain, this turned into a mud bath. So if you were here at our beginning stages, it was always lovely the first week, but by the second week it looked like cattle had gone through here, and you were sometimes ankle deep in mud. So he had suggested that his product go down here, and I got some reviews, and I got some examples, I got some samples, and I was sold. So my buddy Jason Orsted from Creations by Jason, he came in here, dug it all out, put about 18 inches of drain stone in here, and Chris Wold from Chicago came up here and brought his crew, and they lay this out just like you lay out wall-to-wall carpet. And it's good for the minimum of 12 years. It's been holding out fantastic. And again, environmentally, it can be recycled in the end of its life. And we don't have to water it, we don't have to fertilize it. All we do on occasion, we hit it with a brush once in a while to pluff it up a little. But believe it or not, so you got about 18 inches of stone and gravel underneath here, and then we have about 27,000 pounds of sand in here, and that sand actually goes on top of the grass and they brush it in. That keeps it from lifting up at all. But it's a neat outfit, and I do see that some people up here, since we've gotten it, have gotten information on it, and they've put it in their backyards. In fact, I've been to some of their houses, and they've got them on their cliffs, you know, the bluff side, so they don't erode, and they can sit up there and keep a nice level patio. Again, no standing water on here ever. It all drains right on through. And if you get another shot here, you'll see the grass is getting a little long, but it's not, in my opinion. That's how I want it to look, at least that long, maybe a little bit longer. In Sweden, you'll see that. In Norway, you'll see that. And a lot of the Scandinavian Viking-style houses, you'll see that grass is a certain type of grass that only grows that long. If you get over here, of course, we got the restaurant over here from the south side. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about this roof here. I don't know if I've included it in the other stories before, but this roof had stood the test of time since 1974. And when the gentleman first installed it from Norway, they said that'll outlast the next 150, 200 years. They did not take into consideration of pranksters deciding to plug for sale signs, vote for me signs, all over, realty signs on the roof. And they inadvertently, they didn't do it on purpose, they punctured some of the membranes. And I did have a small leak for many, many years that I used to fight. And then we decided, let's take the whole thing off. And interestingly enough, we had Meisner's Landscaping came up here, and they brought up, I remember the kids that were working for them, I think they all played football at Southern Door, for Southern Door High School. And they were happy to get up there with a wheelbarrow and a shovel and dirt and take these things off at one wheelbarrow load at a time. And then a lot of people came and took the grass and redid their back lawns with it. So a couple places up here of Al Johnson's original grass in their backyard. Well, then we hired another company out of Milwaukee called Christensen Roofing, and we came up with an idea because we didn't really have a recipe at that time to follow. And what's underneath there then is basic plywood with rolled tar paper, and on top of that is like a, oh, I can't remember the name of the company, but it's like a rubberized hide almost. 2 coats of that, coats of ice and water shield, and then we put a rubber membrane, EPDM, and then we took gutters, regular aluminum gutters, and we put them upside down at angles. And the reason we did that, so the sod would never slide off if it got overwatered. And the other thing was it would hold more of the water up there, but they're staggered underneath that grass. So when the water hits it, it rolls to the next one, and it rolls to the next one, kind of like Plinko, you know. And I thought the idea was pretty ingenious. Christensen Roofing out of Milwaukee, I think they're worldwide, they came up with that idea. Now, that was a recipe we used for there. On the other roofs, Jason and another company called Martine Roofing, that's local up here, people use them for all kinds of roofing. But I tell you what, he has become an expert in sod roofing, both Jason and Martine Roofing. Now, Jason would come up here on the steeper roofs, and he takes like a lattice that he builds out of treated 1x1, and he puts it down. And all it does is lays against the end timbers. And that way, none of the sod slides off, none of the dirt slides off. It's ingenious. It really, really worked out well. So if you need an expert, Martine can put a sod roof up, and Jason Orsted can put a sod roof up just like that. To cut this roof, years ago, our first goat up there, Oscar, if you can catch some photos of him, the grass is about knee high, and he was one goat, so he really couldn't keep up with it. And I do remember there were times in the fall my brother would go up there and torch the roof. So he'd go up there with a flamethrower basically, and he'd gas the whole roof and just, we just see embers blowing around through Sister Bay, but the idea was like a forest fire, it would regenerate new growth. Well, then the next year, my dad started mowing the roof because it just didn't look aesthetically very pleasing at that time. So then we got more goats, and the goats do a poor job of level maintaining the grounds. They're all over the place. Some places are short, some places are long. So we do go up there about every 2 weeks, sometimes every week in June when grass grows like crazy. We put on a pair of cleats or something, and we take a lawnmower. Now for years, I used to only buy 2-stroke lawnmowers because you mechanically mechanics out there know it's got to be lubricated, and that angle like that all the time, you'd be blowing 4-strokes all the time. Now, I'm going to give Ego lawnmowers a shout out. I wish they'd send me a couple lawnmowers, but that's all I use on the roof. I can cut that roof in 45 minutes with one Ego battery, and 5.0 if you're looking for one of those batteries, and I can do the whole thing in 45 minutes. I love that thing. It's great. I got 2 of them now. But I'm going to tell you, after my dad had got done cutting the roof, our maintenance guy, who I brag about, Glen City, he's got a episode in I think in the restaurant or one of the shows here, and he had cut the roof, I want to say until he was probably 85, and he cut it in penny loafers and a members only jacket. I don't care what the weather was. That's how you saw him up there. He carried the gas lawnmower up there. So fast forward a few years, Glenn doesn't want to go up on the roof anymore, but I'll bet he could still do it. I started cutting the roof, and I would cut it barefoot. And the reason I cut it barefoot is because if I felt like slipping, I could just sit down. My brother, John, would cut it in golf cleats. And then my son, Jesper, he cuts it in baseball cleats. I'm cooking one day with Todd City, who was Glen City's son, and he said, I want to cut that roof because my dad cut it for years. I want to see what it's like. So he got up there and he was exhausted in the first I'd say about the first 30 minutes. So I grabbed a lawnmower to help him out, and I reminded him that his dad did it well into his 80s with a pair of penny loafers. And I said, so you better have a lot of appreciation for that gentleman. And he does. A great guy, and he's back again this year. He'll be turning 97 in July. So he's still mowing lawns. He's still, he does everything that needs to be done. So there we are. So now let's take a gander over to the bar area, and you'll see that we have this, I would say this weather shielding, retractable walls, I should say, and like a pergola ceiling with retractable ceilings. So let's go take a look at that next. So here we are entering the awning area, the pergola area of Al Johnson's Stabbur, which is our summer beer garden. So what we have here is a pretty neat outfit. The first couple of years, if you were here, we were really at the mercy of the weather, whether it be rain, whether it be sun, whether it be wind. It could be too hot, it could be too wet, it could be too cold, all these things. And truthfully, sun was the biggest problem. It got too hot, so we had umbrellas staggered about here, and you know what umbrellas are like. A little bit of wind takes them over, takes your drink over, knocks you over. So one day, my buddy Freddie, who's the general manager of Al Johnson's, Freddie Bexel, he says to me, you know, there's an outfit that makes these retractable awnings, and they're not cheap, but he said it can extend our season and it can keep us open during bad weather. So I said, let's check it out. It's up in Canada, and I'm trying to think of the name now. It's called Shade Effects, and they do a great job. We went up there. They designed this whole thing out of this aluminum canopy rails, and then they have 6 different motors, so I can open up different ones, accordion style. And the material itself is a vinyl that comes from Italy, and it's actually made by Ferrari, yes, the automobile company. And they use it for their seats and their covers of their convertibles and stuff like that, so it's got a great warranty. The walls are made, I think, somewhere in Illinois. I don't really remember the name. I'd have to get back on that one. But they complement the roof, so when we get wind coming from the side, we drop these walls. So when you get rain, too much heat from the sun, whatever it may be, you can retreat into here. It's very relaxing, very comforting. And if you even, on a good rainstorm, you can listen to the rain pitter-patter here while you enjoy your drink. And if the rain quits, you got yourself a nice sunset sitting right over here across the street. I like to say it used to be parents would bring their kids to the beach, and they'd wait and say, let's go home. Now the parents drop their kids off at the beach, and the kids come over here and tugging on their mom and dad saying, hey, let's go home. And they're like, go swimming some more. We're having a fine time here. We got great entertainment here, by the way, as well. Check us out, our website. And then also on Sunday nights, starting this summer again, we have what's very popular is our open mic night. So if you have talent or if you don't have talent, you should come down and check us out. Other than that, come and meet our friendly bartenders, come and check out our retractable awnings, come and check our specialty drinks out, or if you just want to sit on the grounds and enjoy your wait while you're coming into Al Johnson's for breakfast, either way. But that brings to a conclusion of another episode of Door County Girl. As you can see, Door County Girl is not here. It is me, Rolf. Some people say I got a great face for radio, but here it is. Anyhow, don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can get up on all our latest information. Hey-do.
Thanks for watching Door County Girl. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time.